Warrior Wealth Wednesdays. And today we're going to be talking about step 7 in the 10 steps to wealth. And step 7 is all about plan to be wealthy and stick to it. So I had a bit of a mishap with my notes, but all good. I'm just going to ad-lib it and go with the workbook, and I'm sure it'll be perfect. So let me know if you are streaming in live. Say hello in the comments. Let me know where you are, where you're coming from. If not, hashtag replay and ask any questions as you watch through the live here, or the replay of the live if you're watching it then. And also I encourage you to download the workbook, which is actually the chapter step 7, all the details, some questions in there and things to work through, things to think about and ponder. Another piece in the jigsaw puzzle, if you will, of the 10 steps to wealth. So let's get started. Remember that I'm not FGTV. I am here to poke the bear, to help guide you, to share my tips of wisdom and the things that I've learned from my mentor, Counsel. He's a brilliant guy, and I've been, lucky enough to be in his presence for quite some time over the years. So step 7, like I said, is all about creating a plan. So did you ever try, to perhaps program a VCR, when they were still around? You know what VCR is? The video recorder. I think it's called video cassette recorder. I think VCR stands for. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone that knows, that's all good. And, or perhaps assembling like, a DIY kit, like for me, it used to be from IKEA or from different places. Let's be without a pop-up, it keeps coming up. That's it, gone. And, trying to do all of these things without reading the instructions first. And they're quite hard to do, aren't they, really, when you think about it. And it's so much easier to take your time, sit down and work your way through, the instructions step by step, especially putting together those IKEA parts, or I forget the name of the shop now in the UK that I used to buy a lot of things from, similar to IKEA, that was made and ready to assemble yourself. So you'd end up with a pile of pieces of wood and Allen keys and some screws and different things on the floor, and thinking, okay, what goes where? So it's so much easier when we follow the instructions or we have a plan. It's the same when we're building wealth. So that's what these 10 steps are all about. Each one is like a mini strategy, if you like, that you can look at and lean on independently. But when you put them all together, you have them all, you have a larger series of instructions you can follow to begin to change the results you're achieving. And that's exciting. That is exciting. So the next part of this process is to create a plan of how you might go about implementing the instructions contained in each of the steps. Your plan is, it really is a series of instructions. It's simply that. And if you construct a well thought out plan, it will give you all the information you need to be successful. So remember when we talked about earlier about solutions, solutions you generate, and you can change your thinking, because we have to find new ways of doing things. You can't change by remaining the same. That's really, really important that you grasp that particular concept. You cannot change if you hang on to old fears. You must understand, for things to change and you to have success, you must go through a thorough understanding of who you are. These 4 things are really, really important for you to understand. What your behaviors are, what your attitudes are, what your thoughts are, and your beliefs and habits. They all need to change. This is your starting point. Because like Mario Andretti said, desire is the key to motivation, but it's the determination and commitment to an unrelenting pursuit of your goal, a commitment to excellence, if you like, that will enable you to attain the success that you seek. So where are you going, or what you want to achieve is your goal. When you have these 2 points worked out, the third thing is relatively easy. It's how do you get there? And the how is all about the process. And that's the easy part in the real mainstream of things. It's far more important to get the aspect of your journey is your why. You need to make it, because without a big enough why, there's no reason to achieve success, and it's unlikely that you'll ever do the work necessary for success to emerge. That's what happens, I think, when people don't take the time to really evaluate what it is and what their lives are. Then success does not emerge. So unless you can clearly start to identify those 4 elements that we mentioned, your journey has a potential to be aimless and based on emotive guesswork, really. And I did that for so long of my life, that I really want to help you expedite yourself and to really get into things quicker. You know, take the shortcut, learn from my mistakes, from Paul's mistakes. Let's say your goal is the same as mine. So back in 2014, I didn't tell anyone about this. My goal was to create $1 million in net assets by December 18. I gave myself 4 years to create $1 million in net assets. And I didn't tell anyone because I believed that most people I knew would just laugh at me and say, oh yeah, good luck with that. You know, it's sort of that negativity, that mindset around there. And I love them dearly, but you know, this is what happens. And it's been 7 years since I started my journey. And I've been a multimillionaire, you know, for well over 2-3 years. And I just want to point out how far you can travel. You can proceed, you can succeed in life if you really put your mind to it. Today, a lot of those I know are still struggling with their lives, not only financially, but also in terms of stress that a lack of financial freedom brings to personal relationships. It's a long, hard journey to have the stamina when the going gets a little difficult, to not fall back into old patterns and drift away. You know, it is a long, hard journey. There's no magic pill. There's no, you know, Neo from the Matrix, the red or the blue, which one do you want? One's success and one is stay as you are. It's not as simple as that, guys. And anybody who tries to tell you that it is, then I'm sorry, but it's just bullshit. You have to be prepared to put the work in, do the hours, to work hard and to go for what you want, really go for it, you know, make that decision. It's like flipping a switch, turning the switch on in your mind that, you know, you're planning to be wealthy, and stick to it. Make sure the switch stays off. Don't let it keep tripping. You know, like the electrics, well, my place around here is, you know, famous this time of year. We'll have lots of power cuts, I'm sure, and things like that. But don't let yourself get tripped back into old patterns and habits. Like most people, everything gets put in the too hard basket, you know, and although it's sad to see, they still struggle financially. When the reality could be so much different. Too hard basket. Which one are you? Are you in the too hard basket, or are you in the, I'm going to flip the switch and give this a go? So to be successful, you need to create a plan, have an ironclad reason to follow through on your plan. So what is your reason? Now today I did a Warrior Is. It's a separate series. It's on my own personal page, set of 12 first traits to be a purposeful warrior. And today we talked about the trait of passionateness, you know, and passionate, and what it means for a warrior to be passionate. And it's all about finding your passion, your ironclad reason to follow through on things in life. And, you know, I would encourage you to go and watch that. Download the workbook if you're really stuck, and this book as well will help you, 10 Steps of Wealth. But that also, I can see now, it's beautiful how everything is marrying together and you know, coming through in all the work that I'm giving out here. It's all for free, guys, so you can just follow along at your own pace, a DIY thing if you like. Pick up the workbooks, work through them, keep consistent, come back, ask me questions anytime. Ask me a question. If you're stuck, reach out. We're here. I'm here to help. The team will let me know. Just make sure you tag me or tag, you know, Purposeful Warrior in there, and we'll make sure we come back with answers. Because once you have a plan and a big enough reason to be successful, the tactical how-to parts are relatively simple, like I said, to execute. If your goal now is to make $1 million over the next 4 years, if that's what your goal is, your next step is going to be what? What do you think it is? Your plan should include what you're going to do from here, right in this moment. It should conclude where you're going to get information from. What learning do you need? What are your gaps? How are you going to awaken your wealth genius within you? What are your safety nets? How are you going to put them in place? And at the moment, there's a lot of talk around the need to, have gold and silver as a foundation, perhaps stone in, your wealth going forward. And I certainly saw great advantages in stocking up on this over the last few years. And with the beautiful Counsel, so grateful to have him as part of, my journey. And, indeed his continued mentorship, regardless of how frequent our calls and things are. He's there, he's a light, and I see a lot of, benefits from having connected with him that I'm truly, truly grateful. And it allows me now to share this work with you from a place of gratitude for what it's brought into my life, and also that belief that I know it's innate knowing within me that you can have this for yourself too. But I guess, the thing I will say is, if you are dabbling in gold and silver, specifically, and stocking up on a few things here and there, keep your wits about you as to when to unload them and head back into cash. Because it is there will be a time, a tipping point when that need happens. But if you strap for cash right now, because the economy is changing, from an industrial economy to a knowledge-driven one. We're moving into the age of information, the information age. And it's really a knowledge-driven, intangible economy. And the greatest advantage you have right now is to learn how to achieve leverage and sustainable income via the internet. And, in some worlds, coincidence, whatever it happens to be, the environment that we're in, with the CV word and all of its offspring, that's popping up here and there, I don't entertain that in my mind. So I'm not going to speak the words personally. My choice. I'm respectful of everyone's choice on this, but there actually is a great advantage right now. Even though it takes time and patience and skill to make sustainable income, it's not impossible. It provides the best opportunities going forward with at least downside risk. You know what I mean? With the least downside risk of it. If you become a serious student and follow good mentors, you can begin to access income from streams inside 12 months. It's possible. It is possible. And this is what I teach in the Awakening Business Program. So the Awakening Business Program is run through the Mompreneurs channel, but we have guys as well. There's, guys and girls that follow what we do. It's all about business, entrepreneurialism, and waking up that entrepreneur within you, that business genius, the achievement genius, and it couples with wealth. So you'll hear me talk about it both here on the Purposeful Warrior page and also in the Mompreneurs Inspired and Thriving group. So if you're not interested in more cash flow, without putting risk, then this program is perhaps for you. You can talk about it if you like. It's important for your plan to include strategies of what you're going to employ in order for success to happen. You have to have strategies. So I might not be the right mentor for you. Your programs might not be right for me. Your fit, we might not be a right fit. And I'm okay with that. I believe there's abundance for everyone. You will find the right mentor for you. You will find the right program. If what I'm talking about and you like what I talk about and how I work things and that no bullshit approach that you're going to get, then reach out and we can start, to build. The programs will be aggressively running next year with retreats, workshops. I'm hoping a lot of face-to-face events. If that doesn't happen, then we will also have retreats online, where we will come together and make commitments to be together for certain periods of time, as we would be in the room. So really, that's what I want you to think about. What ongoing support would you like to receive? And where are you going to get it from? Who are your mentors? Who are the people that you trust to deliver you the answers and strategies to get you from where you are to where you want to go? Would you like to join other like-minded people so you can immerse yourself in a positive environment instead of continually having to battle against the negativity of others. I know I certainly do. And whilst I don't particularly like the words like-minded, because I want to be stretched, I don't want to be in a room of like-minded people, I am mindful, however, that like-minded people also have a varied experience around, you know, the world in different modalities, different areas of business. So whilst, yes, I know a lot about all of the areas of business, I'm always open to conversations with others, you know, in relation to marketing, to finance, to, you know, production, to supply, to deliveries, whatever it happens to be, logistics. You know, businesses, directorships, all these sorts of areas are important depending on how big of a business you want to grow. And the structure is critical to get right at the beginning. So what happens when you find it easier not to do things, you know, and life just gets in the way again? These are the major things that your plan needs to address. You don't want to be continually battling with the negativity of others. Insane would be an understatement if you gave the go-ahead, wouldn't it? If you go ahead without strategies in place to help you when you fall off the wagon, because it's going to happen. Realistically, it's going to happen. We'll have times where you don't want to do it, you can't be bothered, you don't want to get up, you want to have a Netflix binge, go and get a bar of chocolate, take the beach, you know, beach with the kids, you don't want to do the work. And I get that. I understand that. But we have to have strategies in place to at least be aware when we're doing it, so we know how to pull ourselves back. Imagine you want a new building, perhaps it's a skyscraper, or, you know, perhaps a new home, or an extension, you know, for your expanding lifestyle. You know what's coming. Into your life comes somebody that offers to construct your new building, you know, and so you'd ask, wouldn't you, for concept plans, for designs, for building plans, perhaps a financial breakup of all the materials and the labor, etc. Or is that just me? Is that just the accountant in me wants to know all the bits and pieces? And if your builder says, hang on a minute, I'm not that sort of builder, I don't, you know, I don't build things that way. To save money, I just build as I go. And that's, you know, just built on advice or guesswork or hunches or intuition, you know, with whatever else is going on at the time. And yet you think about it, building in that manner, I'm sure not to miss out on things. That's what the builder tells you, right? Because he just follow his hunch or get advice at the time, what's going on. I'm going to remain flexible and I can keep changing my ideas because I'm not committed to exactly what your extension or your house is going to look like. Well, it would be ridiculous to let that person start building, don't you think? I'd love to know your answer. I want to know that they have a well thought out plan and a design and a budget. And I don't want to know when, you know, my house extension or my next house is being built, my beautiful home and the retreat properties. I want to know that there's a plan being followed and there is a budget. And yes, there may be variations to those, but they'll be agreed upon. So I think that's very important. And we're saying the same thing here. Plan to be wealthy and stick to it. So basically, you know, you want quality everything. Quality design, quality plan, quality service, quality materials, quality finishes, quality results. So if you want that for your own home, why wouldn't you want that for your business and your dream, your passion, whatever you're building? And given this, ask questions, you know, why is it that most people choose not to develop plans for their economic future and yet to build on advice or guesswork or hunches or what your mate's doing or something else? You know, why would you, why do you entertain the I'll just build it and go mentality? It just does not give solid foundations. It's based on guesswork, poor advice, intuition, feelings, hunches, and just basically a whole lack of knowledge. So wealth must be built on quality foundations. It must include role models, knowledge, plans, discipline, financial self-defense, if you like. Anything to do, you know, anything less would be, like I said, insane. The structure you build determines where your energy goes. If you're building on guesswork, Your energy is going to be directed to guesswork, advice and hunches. You are what you think, and what you think expands to become what you give your energy to, your reality. So please be careful how you plan and go forward with this. If you're concerned that you're becoming something that you don't want to become, the reason you're becoming it is because you subconsciously, you are giving your energy to that something. So to become something else, you must start giving your energy to that something else rather than just wishing for it. Does this make sense? I'd love to know. Please let me know. Because remember that tomorrow, guys, tomorrow is not guaranteed to be yours. What if you left this world tomorrow? What would you leave behind? Oh, shiver. With the possibility, a trace of guesswork, advice and hunches that'll be quickly consumed by eroding winds, perhaps blown away, or a legacy based on solid foundations that can be passed on to others. Generational wealth. Generational wealth is what I want for you, for me, and for everybody. It's your birthright. It is your birthright. Sorry, I get passionate about this. I'm not sorry. I actually very rarely say the word sorry. I don't know why that slipped out. Make a note for that, for me to investigate that one. Lack of a plan is the single most significant factor why people get nowhere. Businesses go bust, and poor financial management. If you don't know where you're going, you've got no way of knowing how to get there. The vehicle you should know or use, or how long the journey will take, it's just no idea. You're sailing around without an oar. You're just bobbing around in the ocean at the beck and call of the ebb and flow of the tide. Without a plan, you're not able to recognize the signposts along the way and the directional changes that you need to make. You can't recognize them if you don't have a plan. Because people, they said that who fail to plan actually planning to fail. And I think it is very true, because they don't issue any instructions to their automatic goal-seeking servo mechanism. Do you know you've got one of those? Blew me away when I found out this. An automatic goal-seeking servo mechanism. I just love that expression. It's one of Paul's and I'm coining it. And just wander through life without any instructions to get the best out of it, Without a plan, a goal, and a timeline, there simply can't be a focal point. It's like trying to, win a game of football or basketball or baseball without any rules. No surface markings, no goals to aim at, it's wow, can you imagine? In fact, without the rules, the markings and the rings, you don't even have a game. Other than getting fit, there isn't, and running around and bouncing a ball or kicking a ball, there's no point to it. You just be running around, kicking and throwing to each other. There's no target, there's no end point. So without a plan, like I said, people really do their own worst saboteurs. Wandering through life, not really knowing what they want, where they're going, how they're going to get there, and why they should even try. Lack of a plan is the single most significant factor that separates the game, if you look, the game of wealth from players. Real players have a game plan and a coach that keeps them on track. What's your plan and who's your coach going to be? Decide those things. Decide them. It's very, very important. It will be the best gift this Christmas that you'll give yourself. What's your plan and who's your coach going to be? It's not until they're near retirement that most people realize they should have planned for the financial future. It's too late, guys, but it's never too late. That's wrong for me to say that. But it's harder. It's harder. By the time, people usually think it's often harder for the remaining earning capacity to turn things around. It's not impossible, but it's just harder. It takes a lot more work, and called creative planning, tax planning. So we can do all those sorts of things, but it's just make it easier. And this is not so. It's never too late. However, unless people think differently, nothing's going to change. There's a terrific serviceability and what do I say? Because it's failure to convert knowledge into doing this that holds people back. So you can read all the books and you can watch the webinars and you know, follow me, listen to what I'm saying, read the books that I'm putting out, all of the free advice, the gifts, full of everything that you need to do. But it's the lack of doing this. It's the lack of doing this. So what I do in my programs is give you that accountability and that kick up the butt, you know, that no bullshit approach to get you to do the work, or to call you on your bullshit when you're not doing the work. And yes, there may be reasons, you know, but we work through it. We work through those reasons. We help you over the blocks. Because remember that success means suspending doubt and letting go, because success is on the other side of your fear barrier. It's on the other side. Many people want their life circumstances to change instantly. We've said this before, because it's not possible, they fail to take the small steps. Working out a plan and a strategy is critical to moving forward. I can't stress that enough. Because people who fail have no plans, no goals or strategies. It just happens. They fail. The goal is only a dream if you don't have a strategy and a timeline behind it. If you have no vision, if you have no idea of where you're going, then that's where you'll arrive, nowhere. Please don't do that. Without a plan and a goal to focus on you have no way of engaging your automatic goal-striving servo mechanism. Without clear-cut goals for success, you'll continue submitting yourself to conformity, a life of sameness, those ruts of sameness. Please stop. Don't do it anymore. It's impossible to realize your servo mechanism works in such a way as, if you like, as a mechanical goal-striving mechanism. It must have a target and a goal. And it's got to have a list of instructions to provide, like for its in a GPS, its guidance system. It doesn't have the instructions on how to get there, and it doesn't know where it's going or where it's aiming for. That's it. It just doesn't happen. Yet when it's set in motion, it propels itself forward to its target. While maintaining forward momentum, the instructions are such that it allows the mechanism to make the necessary corrections it needs in order to stay on target. It's amazing. It's all in our subconscious mind. Remember that the creative servo mechanism within you is impersonal. It doesn't care if your goal is $1 or $1 million. It has no idea. It doesn't measure. If you give it a goal and a plan to follow, it will work automatically and impersonally in order to follow your instructions and achieve your goal. It's that simple. You don't need to understand or ask or understand how it works if you don't want to, because it just is an automatic process within your subconscious brain. We just need to switch it on and give it what it needs. Because if not, it's planning and strategizing and taking you on the goals of going nowhere, which is exactly what's happening in your results, I bet, right now. Am I right? All you need to know is that it doesn't work, and that your servo mechanism will still work out its own way to succeed and achieve what you instruct it. So if you're telling yourself, as an example, I'm never going to lose weight, I can't lose weight, which I did for so long, then that's what happens. Its goal is for you to not lose weight. So it self-sabotages you. It shows you, pictures of chocolate cake and strawberries and chocolate bars and all of the naughty things, that perhaps the chips and the things that you shouldn't be eating all the time, all the sugar, and you don't lose weight. However, if you set a goal and you make a plan and you stick to the plan, your servo mechanism inside, your goal-striving servo mechanism, will help you. It will automatically help you achieve your goal. It's not going to happen overnight, but it will help you. Because the servo mechanism is an extension of your ability to place messages into the power of the collective consciousness where everything is connected. That might sound a bit woo-woo, but as I say, trust me, it works. Self-education is the most powerful education process. It really is. When you are self-directed. So we talked about self-directed purpose. We have self-directed self-worth, not others' worth. Everything is about ourself. You do the things that you're interested in and are passionate about rather than things that you know you must do but continually put off. Self-education, most important, powerful process, really is. Surely your financial future is worth something. It's worth getting something, right? Or passionate about. Do you think? I do. I think it is. I find the whole world of learning and achievement such a fantastically enjoyable and rewarding process. I couldn't think of not learning something each day now, you know. I hope you're able to link pleasure to your own learning process, because it really is, it can help you and excel in what you do. So plan strategies that allow you to read as many books as possible on wealth creation. Attend as many seminars as you can. Listen to successful speakers, you know, with regards to wealth. Although many of them use the same vehicles to create wealth, they have their own added special way of doing things. So plan a strategy that works, that allows you to talk to many successful entrepreneurs as you can. Self-education is continually placing yourself in a fertile environment where you can continue to grow. So self-education exposes you to things you don't know. And you can learn from snippets of information from bankers, from financial advisors, financial planners, brokers, accountants, all sorts of agents. You can learn information from, you know, real estate, investment seminars, retirement, stock exchanges, cryptos. There's all sorts of things. And you can learn bits of people from people who have, you know, a special niche. And you can spend years doing it. And a word of warning here, you can actually spend years collecting information. Don't do that either. And make sure those that you're talking to are successful at what they're doing and not just a shop front, you know, of products that they sell. You'll notice with me, I haven't sold you or pushed you to buy anything for months, because I'm really passionate about sharing some knowledge and finding out those who want to see this information and to see it work. I want those of you in my programs who are going to do the work to get the results. I want to see you become multimillionaires in your own right. That's my dream, creating this generational wealth of warriors. The most cost-effective and time-efficient way to learn is finding mentors willing to share their knowledge with you. This is what I'm doing. Sharing my knowledge from the mentors that I've studied with for years. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on my own education. Those who have done the learning, created wealth, are willing to teach the secrets of their success. Opportunities are everywhere if you choose to look for them. There are more people like me out there sharing. Find them. You might resonate with them more than me, and that's perfectly fine. Financially successful people have already done the trailblazing for you. Like I said, I've got lots of things, spent the money, made a lot of mistakes. And they've taken, you know, I've taken the steps that you need to take. And because I know I've got a plan that works, please just let me show you, let me share it with you. And this is part of the 10 steps that I learned from Paul. He built 4 multi-million-dollar businesses. Why wouldn't I listen? Why wouldn't I, you know, tap into that knowledge? And I've done it for myself now, so I know that it works. Building wealth from you know, blueprints of people like myself and Paul are more than happy to, we're more than happy to share them with this. That's what we're doing with these 10 steps, and there's a lot more to come. I know that I am, so there's no need to reinvent the wheel here. You know, I'm okay to share these things with you. And others will be doing the same. Find them and invest yourself, and it's the best investments, you know, you're ever going to make. Even though an investment in your own education is ultimately the best investment you'll ever make, conventional wisdom, I spoke about earlier, establishes a certain type of thinking that sabotages people's ability to achieve financial freedom. And this is because part of the cynical thinking of conventional wisdom suggests that if rich people were so successful, Why would they bother to teach others? It's like saying, if doctors know how to heal themselves, why would they bother trying to heal other people? Or why would a builder that builds build houses for the people if they're successful at building for themselves? You see, conventional wisdom and cynical thinking begrudges successful people their success, because we stand up, we're part of the 3% of the population that does things differently. We don't conform to convention. And as we know, conventional wisdom sees the majority of people living a life of sameness and then being financially unable to support themselves in retirement. And it's bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. Like I said, a job is just over broke. So if you're a follower of conventional wisdom, let's examine this sort of thinking for a moment here. And if you're going to learn about financial freedom, would you want to learn more? I'll take that as a yes, because I'm going to continue. If successful people don't do the teaching, then perhaps you can learn about financial freedom from your mates, your friends, your family, your school teachers, your neighbours, your employers, your work colleagues, and so on. The point here is that if you're going to climb the financial mountain, wouldn't it be better to learn from those who've already climbed? Those where you can hold their hand, use their safety nets. When prepared for, be prepared for the heavy weather that's coming, and the shortcuts that they know to give you the motivation and courage to keep going. If you learn the lessons, will you be wealthier than you are now? Successful people were once unsuccessful, as is the case for me and Paul. In 1994, Paul had little way of an income. He was broke, no assets. He decided he didn't want to live like that anymore, and he decided to change. He constructed a plan for achieving what he had to learn as a result, and was a net millionaire 4 years later. Simple as me. Just like a brain surgeon is worth whatever they charge, right? Whatever successful people want, pay them because they're worth it. I'm not just saying that because I want you to invest with me as well, but there's a lot of shortcuts and things to be had, but it's finding the right person for you. And I think the mentor as well, or the person they're engaging will, when they value what they have and they want results, they will also have a vetting process. So it may be that you're not the right fit for me or for other people. So don't use strategies of conventional wisdom and begrudge them their success. Just learn from them, get on with your life and learn what you need to catapult yourself forward, please. When you're operating in this world, your reality completely changes from one of surrendered potential to one of continued confidence and success. And that's what I want for you all. Enough of those, even though, most successful people do it, what we do is not new. The unique part of the process is how each individual maps out things for themselves and optimizes the information and knowledge that's been around for thousands of years. So when you read books and attend seminars and speak with people, it's like pieces of a jigsaw puzzle that you're making up in your own map, your own way of thinking. But you realize when you get to this level that your thinking needs to change if you're going to have success. So you take the pieces and put them together in a different way. So you're changing your thinking and your thoughts, your behavior, your habits as well at the same time. And that is a true way, if you like, on the path and journey towards success. Because you have no way at all of getting information you don't know until you do this self-education and work with people. Change only comes about through doing things differently, like we keep saying. And if what you're doing now is not working, then stop what you're doing and start something else. If you're not as successful as you'd like to be, then you have to accept your way isn't working and that you might be following conventional wisdom. Ooh, ouch, that hurt. It must be clear to you by now, hopefully, having gone through all of these steps, that if you see other people achieving success, then it must be possible for you too. Why wouldn't it be? You're basically the same as everyone else. The only thing that distinguishes you from them is know-how. That's it, know-how. That's why I call it a first-class journey, which has no economy seats. There's no shortcut to learning the fundamentals of success. Think about what you would receive if you were fortunate enough to share some time with someone who showed you how the process of gaining wealth works. Think about offering them what, a supporting hand, creating wealth. It would be hard to think what else you would need, wouldn't it? I can hear you thinking, gee, if it was that simple, why isn't everybody doing it? You see, it's the simple things that people don't do. They're all too busy trying to live according to the rules of conventional wisdom, which always attempts to make things complex, right? To keep you trapped. And, all the knowledge you need is already available. Access to the people who can truly help you is also available. As Jim Rohn says, library cards are free, but how many people have one? The only reason you need to pay for knowledge is if you want your learning curve shortened. That's the truth of it. Any risk removed and learning, from skilled mentors. People say they haven't got time to read or go to libraries or learn about wealth, and yet the same people, are willing to waste time on things that will never advance them or the situation one bit, and money. They're prepared to spend on depreciating assets instead of spending money on educating themselves to have a better life. The biggest difference between me and almost everybody else I knew is the words I can't. Use that as an excuse. However, it's the words I sandwich I can't between that make the difference. For example, if somebody else is doing it, it can't be that difficult. I let go of what I need to learn and just, dig into the learning. So write some instructions to yourself, then follow your instructions to the letter. Create a plan, write some instructions. And when you get to the fork in road, which you will, a choice intersection. Step into growth by getting some more knowledge, checking your bearings, proceeding and staying on track. That way you'll arrive at your destination. It doesn't get any easier than that. The hardest thing you'll ever do is in life is committing to the decision to be wealthy. Not just wishing you're wealthy or that you wish wealth would happen to you. That's the stuff of fairy tales. And I might be Princess Fiona, but Shrek's in the corner. He makes it real. If you're serious about your future and you want to experience wealth, time and money freedom, then you must take control of your decisions and stop living according to conventional wisdom. Create a plan and start immediately. So guys, that's the end of this step. And it's exciting, all of the steps that we've gone through. I truly hope you've taken the time to read them and reread them several times to assimilate the information into your mind, and you've started to go through the steps and work through the processes. I will be doing launching, like I said, an Awakening Business and Awakening Wealth program in 2022 as part of the Warrior Within series, in which we will go through these steps again, and we'll go through them and do the work together in some group sessions. There's going to be group work. I don't have time to do a lot of one-on-one work at the moment. I have 3 or 4 VIP clients that I look after, but other than that, most of my work will be groups, retreats, and that sort of thing. So that's where I'm heading. Hey Charmaine, lovely to see you. So thank you again for joining me. I wish you all a safe and wonderful Merry Christmas. Enjoy the festive seasons. Please be safe. Look after your loved ones. Treasure them. Tell them how grateful you are for their presence, not just their presence. And I will see you again. I'll be here next Wednesday for step 8. I look forward to getting you then. So until then, remember to be your own best friend, to be your own wealth guru, to do whatever it takes, whatever it is for you. Get some self-education, really start to make a plan. And if nothing else, just flip that switch and decide, make the decision to be wealthy and stick to it, and then work out how to do it. Work out the plan. So from my family to yours, have a wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you next week. Bye.